I'm here in Chicago today and I have with me Alicia Waters. She is the president of Crate & Barrel and Crate & Barrel Kids. Crate & Barrel is probably the best store for home furnishings, houseware, and everything for your home that you can find out there. It's a very special brand and they are very dedicated in decor with purpose, which we'll talk about today. I'm also very interested in their Omnichannel experience because I feel like they nailed it. They have their apps, their digital store, their stores all integrated, and they do a lot of the design and thoughts around data. Alicia will also be on stage for Shoptalk Fall here in Chicago from the 16th to 18th of October. You are very welcome to join us there. If you haven't booked the tickets yet, there are the links here in the show notes for a discount. Here's Paula Macaggi, and this is the Retail Innovation series of my show in partnership with Shoptalk Fall. Welcome to OFFBounds. Alicia, thank you so much for hosting me in Chicago. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for your time. Thanks for sitting here with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm happy that the weather is beautiful for you today.
It is amazing. I'm considering moving here eventually. Who knows? So you've been in the Crate & Barrel family for about 10 years.
Yes.
Right?
10 years.
I bet your home looks incredible.
It's a work in progress, but I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to understand more about the brand, right? Like, what is Crate & Barrel? Like, I could be here explaining, but I think I can do a much better job.
Yeah. So when I started at Crate & Barrel, I led marketing at CB2, and then I moved over to Crate & Barrel after that, and I led the Crate & Kids brand. And then after that point, I became the CMO of Crate & Barrel. And one of the first things that our new CEO, Janet, and I noticed is that we didn't have a true brand positioning. It was a historical, beautiful legacy brand that we all felt in our hearts, but we had never put the North Star on paper to guide the teams as to what the brand should stand for and what the experiences should feel like. And so that's when we put forward this idea of design with purpose, which is what I truly believe Crate & Barrel is. It's a functional, mindful brand that is also aspirational and beautiful. And what I mean by that is that design with purpose for me is a few things. One is quality features like hidden storage. It's about sustainability. It's about thoughtful design and, most importantly, quality. In addition to that, it's about designing a room against moments that matter. So we don't just design pieces, we try to think about the function of the room. So for example, as people were renovating during the pandemic and before the pandemic, during the pandemic and after into open floor concepts, we started changing how we designed our pieces because they wanted more flow between the kitchen when they were cooking and the dinner. And it was more about the experience than it is the pieces. It's the customer's life that should drive our design. So that's really, we're about, homes and lives with purpose. The other piece that I would say is that we really have a community that is interested in purpose. They are people who are authentic, they're mindful, they're not looking to show off in their homes, they're world travelers and people who have lived a life who want to collect items in their homes that make them feel peaceful, calm, inspired. And so that's who we're designing for, which I find very inspirational. So again, design with purpose for me is also about who we're designing for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how clean it looks. Like it is. I saw an article talking about how Crate & Barrel inspires quiet luxury, which is like a new term that everybody's talking about. And I think that it is. That's exactly that, right? Everybody was ANF earlier this year in January. And that's when I heard about Crate & Barrel for the first time. I remember I was watching a session and they were like, it starts to visit in New York. And then the first one was like, you have to go to Crate & Barrel store, which is a Flatiron, which I did. And I was very impressed. And that was the first time I heard about you. I heard about the brand. Every time that I go to New York now, I go to that store because it's always inspiring.
Wonderful.
What was the goal with that store? Because that's very special.
Yeah, the Flatiron store is our global flagship. So to back up, today we sit with two brands, Crate & Barrel, Crate & Kids. We're in 7 countries, so we have a global footprint. And as part of our future and modernization, we're using tech to draw in new experiences. In addition to that, we're working to transform our retail model. There are a few parts to that. Number one is, creating store experiences that are truly omni, because the customer needs to be met where they are. And they don't care if they're in a store or in our digital channel. They want to have the same experience, or on our social channels. It should all be a seamless experience. So the first is omni. The second is about curating local assortments in our stores, which we're using data to power. And so I think you're probably in New York and feeling some of that curation of a more local assortment to that customer. The third is about just expanded offerings. So really catering in on some of our key segments like gift registry, wedding registry. And the fourth, I would say, is one floor. So the New York flagship is 2 floors, but a lot of our new stores, we actually have consolidated from the bigger stores that you see in other markets down to 1 floor, where you can see across all of the categories and really feel the experience more, because we are a whole home retailer, unlike many others. And then finally, just services. There are a lot of services in that Flatiron store that really pop. Design services is the biggest one, which we call the design desk at Crate. Which I think we have over 50 feet of design inspiration there. It's over 2 floors where you see a lot. So you see a lot of monitors where people are working with customers on, 2 and 3D renderings, mood boards. We're doing installations and all of that. And then we also have things like a botanical shop in that Flatiron store.
Beautiful.
That's staffed with an expert who can help you create beautiful arrangements to take home. We have a monogramming machine in there so that you can, if you're in our kids area, which is a shop in shop within the store and our biggest kids store in the U.S., but there's a monogramming machine. So if you buy something, they can actually monogram it for you while you're there. So it's all intended to feel really experiential and special and mostly reflective of New York. The other thing about that store that I love is that it's in the Palace of Trade building, and the architecture is so striking. We worked very hard. This was a very long construction project to preserve the elements of the original building. So it was the Palace of Trade building. It is neoclassical. There are these beautiful arches. We maintained them. We did not repaint them. The facade is the same. We then added our touch of modern because we are a clean, modern brand. So for example, when you walk in on the left, there's a giant volcanic ash wall of tiles that we actually sell those tiles. In that store, we embedded symbols about Crate & Barrel. So if you stare at it, you'll see things like our ampersand, which is, the sign between Crate & Barrel. You'll see plates and forks and just some fun, New York type moments, throughout the store like that, with that being an example.
And it says that, I think there was an interview with your CEO saying that's the future of Crate & Barrel.
Yes.
What is the future of Crate & Barrel? Is this omnipresence? Do you have more stores like that? How is that?
Yeah, I think the future of Crate & Barrel continues to be designed with purpose. We always go back to who we are. And it is the transformation of this omni model with retail modernizing in the ways that I spoke about earlier, and services. Crate & Barrel is known for Design Desk, which is free, by the way. We do this with our customers, and over 30% of our customers have us come to their homes so that we can actually measure in the home and be with them. And then gift registry, which those registrants become our loyalists over time, baby registry. All of these moments are where Crate & Barrel is known for and continue to be the past, present, and future of the brand.
Well, you know that I'm moving soon, and I'll need some Crate & Barrel help. And
we need to help you. Yes, I would love to help you.
Yes, please. Yeah, and I have no ability. I'm very bad at decoring.
I doubt that.
But I'm very good. I love a good, my home right now, it's beautiful, but it wasn't me who made it, It was ready. The furniture was there already, so. And this time I'm going to build it myself. So
Wonderful.
I would love design help. What is the importance of the service? Can you get that online as well? How do you engage with the customer with the service?
So over 40%, what's interesting about that service from a retail perspective is that it's omni. Over 40% of the design desk leads, the lead gen, comes from e-com. So people come in through our e-commerce site, and then we have the design desk designers who are in the stores calling them old school. They set up an appointment or they call them, and customers have the option to choose. They can do it virtually in their home. They can come into the store and meet with a designer, or we can come to their home. And like I mentioned, over 30% of customers want us to come into their homes. I think it's because Crate & Barrel is a trusted brand and we're very, very careful. Our associates and the people going into your home are trained professionals, design professionals. But it's a really amazing service. It's free. So what we would do for you is we would start out with a mood board. So you would tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do. We would map out your space then with renderings to understand exactly what the dimensions are for each room. Ideally, we would walk the space together, and then we would share with you some potential designs. And then you could pick. We also can incorporate what you already have, because I don't think anyone lives with one brand, and nor do I want them to, because again, our customer is an authentic human being, who cares about the experiences they've had in life. So you're mixing in what you have, the new with the old, and we are part of that mix.
The story, yeah. So you are basically together in the life moments of many customers, right? Like,
exactly.
I imagine that you have the loyalty of these customers because of that. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't need designers anymore. We have Crate & Barrel. You mentioned the registry. I've watched a few videos on YouTube, on TikTok, of people talking about their registry moment.
Yeah.
I know that there's like a day that you close the store just for people getting married. Mm-hmm. I would love to understand more about these events that you host.
Yes, we host events. So we have a wedding concierge. And so they meet with registrants need a little bit of extra service. In today's world, especially, we've seen it shift where couples coming together are more established in their homes. So it's not like they're building their first home together. For many registrants, they're combining two homes. That can be very emotional, very challenging and exciting. And so what we realized that they needed some service that was specific to them. So we have trained, wedding registry concierge associates who we set up events 2 to 3 times per month in every store, where we close down the store and these customers can come in as couples and have conversations about what they own, what they need. We have a lot of guides for customers around forgotten items, checklists, et cetera. How many do you really need in the modern world where people are not registering for China as often anymore, but they're living a more casual life? And what are the moments that you might be having in the future that you might want to support, like making s'mores or having popcorn and, family movie night? So just helping you dream about your future life together. So that is a huge part of it. As I mentioned, our registrants become loyalists over time. I registered at Crate & Barrel. I've been married for, I think, 23 years. And I remember it. I remember the associate who helped me. I always think about whenever I'm in an Uber, I've had, I think, 2 or 3 Uber conversations with drivers who say, I registered at Crate & Barrel. It's exactly what you said. It's those special moments where we have got to show up for our customers in a way that feels human and authentic, and help them through whatever they need. What we're doing that's different with registries, I think, than some of our competition, and that really distinguish us in the registry world as a leader, is we are servicing the whole home. We can service everything from outdoor furniture to the kitchen, to the living room, to the bedroom, to the kids' room. Nobody else is doing that. So we can do the whole home in one fell swoop. The other one is we recently launched shared registries. So you can share your registry across Crate & Barrel, Crate & Kids, and CB2, which is a big benefit to our customers. Yeah. Again, because people don't want everything from one place, and we understand that, and we're here.
You're not forcing them like, oh, sorry, you can have this couch because you have to buy from us.
No, we want the house to look like them and whatever it is that they want.
Do you have this omni experience between the brands as well? Like, do you know it's the same customer?
Yes, we do. So we are, again, it's all powered by data, and the data with the intent of personalized experiences. So the idea is, how do we leverage our data to create truly personalized experiences for the customer? So understanding their style profiles, understanding what they want, what they need, and providing them with options. It's really about exposing them to the options that are across the brands and let them guide the choice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And how is the baby registry? Do you also have this experience like the wedding, or?
Yeah. Our baby registry is growing leaps and bounds. It's growing, almost 30% this year. It's my favorite. It's so emotional that, again, what's beautiful about that is that you're designing a room from scratch. You have nothing. It's not like the combining of the wedding registries. You're designing from scratch. Parents are very worried about safety. We have an extremely rigorous ESG program. All pieces we develop for furniture for kids are Green Guard certified because we don't want toxicity in the air. We want to reduce the amount of chemicals or irritants that kids come into contact with. We also have organic textiles. So we are very serious about providing a very safe product in addition to very stringent quality testing around cribs, around the chairs that you sit in. So in addition to the beauty of it, we've got safety covered for these parents. It's our number one priority. But the baby registry is similar in that we're offering, we're lucky in that a lot of celebrities, influencers come to us because they want their nursery or their home to be Crate and Barrel. And so we've had some really amazing, we do this program called Real Registries across baby registry and wedding registry, where celebrities come in and they show you what they would have registered for. And then we actually do installations of their nursery or of within their home for wedding registry. And you can buy, you can see what they're posting about on social, and you can buy it yourself.
Can you name a few of the celebrities?
Sure. In the past for kids, we've had Naomi Osaka, most beautiful nursery. I loved it. Mandy Moore's nursery was beautiful. Rumor Willis. Right now we have Candace Parker. It's a pretty amazing.
I want to touch again on the Omni experience because when I went to the New York store, I also went to the virtual replica of their store, which has a few floors. It's not the two, but like you see everything, you engage with products.
Yeah.
What is the intention? First of all, is the intention with this virtual store? Is that how customers first see Crate and Barrel? What is the step of the journey that this virtual store belongs?
First and foremost, we're always investing in emerging technology to try it out, to see what types of new experiences we can create for our customers. There is an element of just trying things, experimenting, being curious, surprising and delighting our customers. That's really what that was for us. It was an extension of our New York City flagship that you were just speaking about. For us, it felt like we are going to have this amazing experience in New York, which I really believe is so immersive and different than any other store I've been in. We created something as a team. We created something really special there. It's not fair. It's only in New York. And so we wanted to bring it to the rest of the world. That's why we created that virtual experience. And so within that experience, there are a lot of interesting features. You can take quizzes. Tabletop comes alive. It's also just has an element of magic and charm.
So you have the app, you have the website, you have the virtual store, you have the stores. They're all playing a role in the customer journey.
Yes.
How are you integrating those? I know that you have QR codes in store, which is super exciting, but how do you connect these experiences?
Great question. It is about a seamless experience. So for the customer, they should not feel like they're on any channel. They should just feel like they're at Crate and Barrel. So for example, with the app, we leverage what is best about that experience, try to bring that to fruition, and then ensure everything is seamless in the background with the other channels. So for example, with the app, I would say the feature that I think is the coolest is what you said, the AR feature, where you can view in room, where you can take your phone and understand what something is going to look like, a piece will look like in your room. So that is the salient feature there, as well as the app is for, shipping, delivery. You can communicate directly with the store so you know when your item is coming. So it's about transparency, efficacy of the checkout experience and the delivery experience, so the post-purchase experience. That's super important. When we think about the stores, it's about that experiential, come sit on it, come play and put together an arrangement. Come try coffee in, these 3 espresso machines. We're always doing demos in the stores.
That was my last entertainment there. I was trying coffee and the coffee machine.
Yeah, come have cookies that we just baked in this oven. So the stores are about the experiences, and the services, really about service. And then e-commerce is about selection and assortment. So we leverage the store QR codes, as you mentioned, to drive to expanded selection in e-commerce because there are more finishes, there are more fabrics, there are more leathers that you can get in e-commerce. And I think the store,
many you can put in a store.
Yeah, and the store associates are incented for the customer, not for their channel. So they're happy to help you select something that is ordered within the digital channel. It all works together because it has to start with the customer, which is what we really focus on.
Do you think your marketing background helped a lot with this experience?
I do. I think so. First off, I have a deep marketing background and I'm a shopper. I love to shop.
Yeah, but like everybody is. And not every brand is doing that. Like you really nailed it. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I think the brand, I live a life. I'm always out, with friends, going to dinner parties. So I understand that they've shifted and they're not as formal and people are doing more drink stations and appetizer stations. So we're moving in that direction, So I think it all helps being a marketer, being, super interested in data, being a shopper. So I understand when shopping is easy or hard, and we work to fix those things that cause any friction. And then just living a life, I think, is really important as a leader, and so that you can see through your customers' eyes.
Exactly. You can't be just facing your computer all day and imagining how consumers shop, right?
Yes.
And that's the magic too, how to put data to express the feeling of the customer that
That's
it's not
exactly
saying.
right. It's really gut and data, isn't it?
It is.
Like we also saw colored drinkware and etched drinkware take off. And I was like, that's because they're hosting parties with these drink stations. It becomes the jewelry. It's beautiful. You want your drink station to look really beautiful. So it all sort of fits.
The jewel of the
jewel.
living room.
Yes, exactly.
And one thing that I love is that we are in Chicago, where is the new home of the new version of Shoptalk Fall, our partner. How do you feel about having a retail event here in your backyard?
It's amazing. It's so exciting. I love that events have been added. I think it's a really great idea. And
you can just get an Uber and go to
Exactly. I get to go home at night afterward. It's great. My kids I can do my carpools later that evening.
And what is special about retail in Chicago specifically?
Retail is really vibrant in Chicago. I think, in fact, Chicago is one of our strongest markets at Crate & Barrel right now. So customers are really interested and receptive. As an employer, I can say that there's a robust pool of talent to draw from within this market. So, yeah, I think it's a great place for Shoptalk.
Do we have a Crate & Barrel store here where everybody should visit?
We have 5 stores. Oh, wow. The one in the city is at North and Clybourne, and I would love for everyone coming to Shoptalk to visit that store.
That's a good invite.
Just a plug there. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We should do like a store tour and pass
that would
by.
be wonderful. Yes, and we can get you your design desk appointment.
Yes, please. Me and 30 people that are going to come with me.
Amazing. I'll be there.
One thing that I love about Shoptalk, this version of Shoptalk, is that I think it's the first retail event I'm going to go. But I've never seen a retail event with leaders like more than 50% of the lineup are women.
Right.
They dedicated the main stage for women keynote, which never seen before. And also meet up for women so we can engage with each other. How do you feel about that? About more women being represented?
I'm with you. I'm really looking forward to the keynotes this year. There's so many inspiring women taking the stage. It's the 50% lineup is especially salient in my mind, given that women still only hold a quarter of C-suite positions today. So there's so much opportunity, and to see Shoptalk reflect that on the stage is meaningful.
Yeah, I usually hear the excuse that, but women don't agree in talking, or women don't come on the stage when we ask. Not true.
Not true.
We just proved that that's not true.
That's right. Exactly.
And you're going to be there sharing this stage with many incredible women. I'm looking very forward to that as well.
Me too. One of the things that I love about Crate & Barrel, and one of the reasons that I work there, is that over 60% of our leadership is female, including our CEO.
That reflects a lot of what Shoptalk is doing. I think 65% of the lineup are women.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
And I've worked with many women these last years. And I really like when we have the balance. It's very, like, I came from finance. We were talking about it before. I came from finance where, like,
different
it was
world.
It was just not suitable for women, I think. It was, they used to make it harder, I think, than embracing us. So
yes.
Very good to see where we're going. We still have a long way to go, but where we're going, it's very exciting.
Yes. Let's get that 25% up to 50.
Yeah. Well, and you've been 10 years at a company, you have an incredible career. You're like now holding the role of president, which is very exciting. How is your leadership? How do you you clearly see the customer, you clearly see the technology, you really embrace how everything is working and the new I don't know, trends and everything. How do you project that in your leadership?
For me, transformation and evolution always come to mind. They're part of Crate and Barrel's DNA. That's how a brand can stay relevant for 61 years, 62 years. And that's part of my DNA. So we are a good fit, me and this brand. I'm focused on the future of our culture and building performance-driven teams. That is the focus, is how do we ensure our teams are clear on our goals and driven toward performance. And then the last piece I would say is that they're curious. For me, curiosity is my superpower. I'm curious. I'm very interested in everyone and everything. And so when you're curious, I believe that you are not defensive. You're open to new ideas. You can make mistakes and learn from them quickly. Curiosity fuels a lot of really strong business results.
So would you say you allow people to fail?
Yes. I actually don't believe in failure. I don't really think it's a thing. It's really about moving toward the next thing. So if something didn't work, acknowledge it, call it, say, oh, that was me. I decided to do that. Here's why. That's enough on that. I'm not going to keep going into why because that's defensiveness. And now here's what I'm thinking. Here's my solution. Early on in my career, when I was at Gap and very junior in my career, our vice president, Tara Posley, said, always be solution-based. So be a solution-based leader. If you see a problem, call it out and then come with a solution. And I have truly internalized that my entire career and try to instill that in our teams.
When we are leaders, if people just come with problems to us, that's not helpful, right?
Yeah.
You have to be the one that brings the solution.
You really do, because as a leader, I don't always have visibility to what's underneath the problem and what the true root cause is. I am more than happy to ask 6 questions to get to it. But it's great if the associate can demonstrate, if our teams, our leader, everyone on our Crate and Barrel team is a leader and able to articulate what they think is the problem, because they're going to, a team is always more powerful with more voices, always.
Yeah. But it's hard to build these teams. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Constant evolution.
Constant evolution and formation and education.
Yes. Yeah.
And who inspires you? Who is a leader that inspires you to be the great leader you are today?
I will start with my mom.
Of course.
Who is 82 and has always inspired me. She entered the workforce and was a leader in the workforce herself. And so I saw that example growing up, but she was also a committed mother to me. So definitely her. I'm inspired by our CEO, Janet Hayes, who refuses to accept the status quo, pushes boundaries, cares about her people. When I think about the external world, I'm inspired by Gwyneth Paltrow. I worked closely with her when I was at CB2 on a collaboration. So we worked in an intimate way in terms of her, presenting design boards and on the collection, and worked with her team, which was very meticulous and driven to success and results. I'm mostly inspired by the fact that she created a wellness brand. Wellness is really, really important to me. That was about sustainability and wellness kind of before it became mainstream. So that I think is very inspiring. There are a lot of women in the Chicago area that I am close with and we connect with on a regular basis who are leaders in this community that inspire me. Women like Emily Hikadi, who runs Petite Plume, which is a pajama company that is skyrocketing. She's really interesting. I have a friend, Julie Brandt. We all get together, who leads Johnson Controls. We have similar problems or can talk through, what we're working on together, which it's very helpful.
It's like you have your personal boardroom.
That's right. Exactly. We all need that. It's a web.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you mentioned so many women.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. And what would be your advice to someone that is starting now and wants to progress in a career? Women or men, but like someone that has the vision to become someone like you.
I think I would go back to not being afraid to fail. having big ideas and trying them. Just go for it. If they're rooted in the customer, there's probably something there. Don't stop until you can get it. Don't let perceived failure stop you. Just move toward where you're trying to go.
Very good. That was wonderful. We should have a Chicago deep pizza. Is that something you recommend people to do here?
It's really a tourist thing, but I will do it with you.
Sounds good.
I can give you some good restaurants.
That's perfect.
That
Let's
are even
do
better.
it.
But I do like the deep dish about once a year.
I've never tried.
Oh, it's good. But it's different than New York style pizza. So I don't know what you're going to think. We'll see.
I don't know. I lived some time in Italy. Yeah, I came from São Paulo, which is the best pizza in the world.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Okay, I'll put that on my list.
Yeah, but
Sao
maybe
Paulo
someone,
pizza.
maybe someone in Italy is gonna bark about it. But it is, I have to say. Thank you so much for coming here. It was very special, and I'm looking forward to get my home ready for Crate and Barrel.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful meeting with you.